Welcome to Nah But For Real, where besties who heal together keep it real together. I'm Allie, and this is my co-host Jay, and we are excited to have you here with another episode of Nah But For Real. Make sure you are following us on all social media platforms at nbfr podcast on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe. All of it. And so I guess we can just hop right into the icebreaker.
Yeah, warm things up with an icebreaker.
Okay, so children's films or children's TV show that represents your life or just like a period of your life.
Yeah. So we obviously came up with these questions. And I couldn't think of like a TV show or a film that like represents my life. But I could think of a children's movie character who is literally me. And it's Louisa from Encanto. When I first heard that movie, y'all, heard the, what's the song she sings? Under Pressure, Surface Pressure. I first heard that song, I was about to bawl. Like, I was sitting there welling up in the eyes like, this is me. Like, so she's just, I don't know if you all saw Encanto. Did you see Encanto? Well, in Encanto, Louisa is like this strong, she's the middle child. Everybody thinks she's the oldest, but look it up, y'all. She is the middle kid. Although I'm the youngest, I was raised in my family like the middle kid because we were back to back, and my aunt and my mom raised us like, siblings. So I always kind of grew up in the middle regardless. So that's that. But also she's the oldest girl, like from her side. So, she wasn't the oldest girl. She had another sister. But she was getting married off. Anyway, she was the strongest. Like, everybody just kind of looked at her for, like, to keep the cracks from falling. And then she's like, if I let go, like, I'm literally holding on my string. And if I let go, all of the family just fumbles. So she's just like, I'm going to hold it together. I'm going to be strong. I'll be the strong one. And I'll put everybody else on my back. And don't ask any questions, because if you ask me if I'm okay, I'm going to topple over. Like, I just need that one piece and it's all going to crack. And I'm like, this is me. Like, it's pressure. I felt it from the bottom of my soul. Like, super sweetheart. And she's just like, I'm fine. That's what kills me. She's like, I'm fine. I twitch. Like, I'm good. No problem. No worries. Yeah. And I feel like that's me in my, like, family situation. Friends too. Like, that's just kind of the role I always kind of play. So I don't know about whole life, like, film wise, but definitely Louisa. I'm giving much Louisa.
Okay. I like that you picked a character.
Yeah.
I really couldn't think of a character who represents me. I think I'm just a character of its own.
Allie.
Yeah, I'm just Allie. So, that's okay. But the film that I thought of that represents a piece of my life is Cheetah Girls. And when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, I hope she don't say this.
Cheetah Girls?
Yes, and I'm talking about Cheetah Girls 1, just the first Cheetah Girls.
Period.
And I say that because Jay and I were in a singing group when we were younger, and we did the auditions, the talent shows, the concerts.
We had no dog.
Yeah, we ain't had no dog. I had a dog, but we ain't had no, I had a dog.
You did have a dog,
but
it wasn't giving that dog.
Yeah, it wasn't giving that.
Toto.
Yeah, no, he wasn't that little. But so yeah, like the
matching
outfits, the photo shoots, the singing, the writing music together, like that whole thing, the big dreams, the big, like, we're gonna be famous, we're gonna make songs together, we're gonna meet all these famous people, like just that big dream of like that teenage girl singing group. Yeah, we were like that was us. And we were a group of 4 before until we turned into a group of 3.
Yep.
So, yeah, I would say Cheetah Girls for sure.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Wish we could have went to Barcelona, but
I know, we really should have been given more of like Cheetah Girls 2.
For sure.
But
we were given Chicago Cheetah Girls. The hood version. This is the BET version.
Yeah, it was the BET version of Cheetah Girls. DAA, look us up. Okay.
Love that.
Okay, and so perception of life, right? So we're talking about how children's films or like media, how it represented us in life. But outside of that, perception, and how do you perceive your perception of life, like overall?
Yeah. So my perception of life overall, or my perception of my life?
Your life.
My life. So, okay. Like I was talking about with Louisa, she kind of held everything together. But in her little, like, montage or whatever, you can kind of see her life panning out, and things, if you really pay attention, things are slowly falling on her, like one by one. And I kind of feel like that's me. I feel like my life is like organized chaos, where it's like, that's why I feel like I can handle so much. So I perceive my life overall, like if I had to like give it a title, it would be like organized chaos, because it looks like the picture on the outside is like beautiful, and the picture don't get me wrong, I'm cute on the inside too, y'all, but it takes a lot of work. Like it's a lot of strength to be in my position. And I feel like life almost gives me curveballs at the best times. Like I feel like it gives me like curveballs in order. And the first thing I thought about was like my great grandma passed away. I had a time period where like I had a lot of people in my life pass away, like back to back. And it was my uncle first, and I was close to my uncle, but it was really my great grandmother's passing after my uncle's, about a week later, y'all. It was crazy. About a week later. And it just prepared me. Like, I remember having a conversation. I actually text Allie. I remember being in the limo. My great grandmother had just passed, and I'm like, "Are you scared to die?" And she's like, "Yeah." Allie like, "Girl, what is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I don't think I am." Like, just having like real conversations. Like, I'm 17, y'all. Like, I'm talking like I'm about 50. Like, I'm like, really, life was just kind of showing me the way. And then 2 weeks later, my mom ended up passing. And I feel like if that moment hadn't happened, I wouldn't have been as prepared. Same with like, before my mom passed away, she's like, "Get your license." And then after I ended up getting my license, so many things happened in which I needed an ID. Before that didn't happen. Like, nothing. So I feel like my life kind of tumbles in the right, not in the right way. Nobody wants that to happen.
Right.
But it's almost like the universe is like, something's about to happen. I'm going to give you a little bit of chaos, because a lot of bit of chaos is about to come, and you need to be prepared.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's organized chaos. Like, I'm an Aries, so my life is already very chaotic. Okay, y'all? Like, you should have saw this morning. Okay? My life is always chaotic. I'm always late. I'm always like all over the place. But it's very organized. Like, I'm a planner, but it's going to be all over the place. But it's going to prepare and get me ready for like something that's greater. So that's how I perceive my own personal life.
Right. I like what you said with the organized chaos.
Yeah.
That's literally you.
Literally.
Like, even to the car, to the room, like organized chaos.
Organized chaos.
That's the perfect way to describe
We
it.
gonna make it there. It might be a couple flats. You might get your car towed. I got a ticket to get it. Anyway, you might get your car towed, but you're gonna get there. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna make it half dead, but we will make it.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna get done.
It's gonna get done.
Yeah.
And I will be there with a smile on my face. That's what matters.
You're like, I'm not
Nothing
stressed at all.
happened. I twitch. I'm good.
Louisa.
Right, I'm good.
Yeah. For me, I would say I don't have like the perfect, like, because you say like organized chaos. Mine, I could put into like maybe 3 different words.
Okay.
Adventurous, because I love to travel, and I'm a huge foodie. I love to try new things. Important, because of just thinking about, I feel like everybody is important.
Yeah.
So I feel like that piece really goes like, that's like maybe my, also for life in general, but for my life, I see it as important, because I see that I am representation for my family, for people who look like me, when it comes to like educational reasons, academic reasons, when it comes to the career field I chose, like just different things when it comes to who I am and what I do. I find it is very important. So sometimes that could look like me putting myself on a high pedestal. So then anytime I don't meet that expectation, then I kind of be like, oh no, how do I do this? So I'm getting out of that now. And side note, if anybody finds themselves feeling like they're on a high pedestal and they feel like they have to get things done, that's an expectation that you don't have to put on yourself. Your only expectation in life is to breathe. That is an expectation that everybody in this world has, is to breathe. Anything outside of breathing is a choice that you have made. So if you choose to, be late, then, I mean, it's okay. Like, that's okay that you're later. If you choose to do something else rather than something else, that's okay. And that's the only expectation you should expect of yourself, is to breathe. Nothing else outside of it. So that's like, that helps me a lot when it comes to like feeling like I have to put myself on a high pedestal. I have to do certain things to be a good representation. And then outside of that, I would say like intentional, kind of like what you were saying with experiences kind of like falling into line. I feel like people who pay attention to it, if we all really paid attention, that's how life works. Almost.
Organized chaos.
Organized chaos. Like,
yeah.
if you really pay attention to the things that's happening to your life and you're just aware, mindful, then you'll start to see that life is like a revolving circle. Like, it's just the same thing over and over and over. And so if you catch it on repeat, then you can be like, okay, I caught it this time, and then it might be different the next time, and then another experience. So I just see it as intentional, adventurous, and important.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I like it. Thank you. So now, outside of like your perception of your life, what about the meaning of life, like overall in general?
Well, I feel like the meaning of life is just such a loaded question. Like, if y'all Google the meaning of life, and please let me know what it says. Like, is that even a thing? Like, you know, and that's really what it comes down to is perception. Like, when I think about the meaning of life, it's giving Hannah Montana is what you make it. Like, at the end of the day, like you said, life is what you make it. At the end of the day, like you said, like, you can catch it wherever, which means you have control over it, of your own life. The only thing that you don't have control over is outside occurrences. But you can choose how you react to any of those occurrences. Like I said, at the end of the day, I will come literally like hair all messed up, eyebrow burnt off, and still be cheesing, because I know for a fact, like, I've either been through worse, or this is going to prepare me for something else. Like, it's only going to push me forward. And as angry as I can get, I know for a fact that I've done it before, and I'm going to do it again. You know, I'm going to take life by the reins and keep it pushing. So I feel like it's just what you make it. The meaning of life can be anything, like whether it's vocational and you're somebody who's like, my meaning of life is all about work, and that's not a problem. Like, if that's who you want to be, that's who you want to be. I feel like we put too much stock into what others' lives means. It's like we give them we give other people expectations based off of what we want our lives to mean. And we can't do that. Like, people have to live for themselves and realize their own, and that's what's really important, is realizing your values and figuring out what your values, and let them change and let them grow and let them blossom, and just live in that. Like, that's what the meaning of life is, living in your values when they change as well. Like, don't forget that piece. Like, they're not going to be the same that they were when you were 7.
Right.
Like, you might have wanted to be a Power Ranger then, like, you know.
Shut up.
Right.
Maybe Powerpuff Girl.
Exactly. And now it's giving, like, you just want to be free, you want to be happy, you want to travel, you want to, you know. And that's what I had to realize this year as well. Change in those values and change in those. My morals don't really change much, because morals are like more ingrained, you know, like. Then your values are ingrained as well, but like, as you start getting into your mid-20s, like, you learn more, so your values change. But they've been changing like fast as hell. Like, I'll wake up one day and something is completely changed. And like you almost said, like, because you didn't reach, you gave yourself this expectation, and because you didn't reach it, you're like, shucks. But then when you really think about it, it's like, did I even want that anymore? Right. You know, like, is it me giving it up, or is it just like, that's not who I am anymore today? Like, today I want to be in Guatemala on a rock. Like, that's just what I want to do, you know, and that's okay. And some people might think you're being lazy, or because that's not what their values and that's not what their meaning of life represents. But for me, it's like, today, this is what my life means, and this is what I want for myself today. Because honestly, life overall is literally every day. Like, today is life. Like, right. Yesterday was its own life. Today is its own life. So if I want to change my life every day, by all means, you know, who's stopping me? Who gonna check me, boo?
Oh, period. I would say that my definition of life is connections, networking. Like, people, we have this sense of, because we're human, we have this sense of belonging, wanting to belong, wanting to feel accepted, wanting to feel like there's like somebody who understands us. And that's like on that hierarchy of needs. So we know that belonging is there, and we know that connection means a lot. So I feel like that's, for me, that would be what I would define, like, the meaning of life is connections, learning from each other, teaching each other, having experiences that another person just hasn't experienced, and talking them through it in the case, like, they do go through it. Like, I feel like preparation for things. So connection, I feel like, is the meaning of life. Like, being here, supporting each other. And then anything outside of that is just, once again, just a choice that we choose, like, how we're going to go about it. Are we going to connect with people by by traveling to different countries? Are we going to connect to people by going to work and being a therapist? Are we going to connect to people by seeing somebody at the grocery store and saying, hey, like, I noticed that you look a little down. Like, here's a word of
Coupon.
wisdom. Right, here's a coupon. Right,
Here's a
exactly.
coupon. I was actually gonna, before you mentioned like whatever that means, gonna ask you like, what about like hermits who choose to like, okay, I'm done with connecting to people. What makes me feel fulfilled and like my purpose to life is like going to live under this rock by myself. And then I was thinking like that's still kind of a connection, and it's a connection to yourself spiritually.
Yeah.
Like you reach a new like level of connection with not even yourself, but like this like spiritual like aura around you, however you choose to define that. But that is still a connection. Like that's still, you know,
still belonging and feeling like, and that's the thing, like, even like you said, hermit to yourself, but even being able to connect to yourself and feel comfortable with yourself is a whole nother form.
Yeah,
like,
right.
So feeling like you belong within your body is a whole nother thing. So, you know, I still feel like it's like connection somehow, some way, either in the spiritual form or in the physical form, but connecting to someone, to something.
Yeah.
Even sometimes it might be something, feeling connected to your home. Like some people feel like if they're not in their childhood home, then they feel like something is off or something is missing.
Yeah.
So things like that, just feeling connected somehow, some way to someone or something, and networking in order to like just kind of come together as a whole.
I feel like that goes hand in hand with what you were saying still with the like expectations. Like I feel like the overall meaning of life and what we kind of both kind of touched on was like this freeing of expectations, because even if you are connecting to other people and they're putting their expectation of what they have or their version of connection upon you, it doesn't always work that way. Like your connection to somebody else is still necessary because of your own thoughts and because of your own ideas and because your own connection to self.
Yes.
And that's what is important. I mean, all of it is important. Obviously, you need to connect with other people to have opinions and to understand life as, you know, as an entirety. But before you can do that, we really should work on like how we connect to ourselves and find out our own personal values so that we can share them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't. And that's the scary part about connecting is like we connect, but a lot of people don't even share their own thoughts and their own ideas. And it's just like, you know.
But it's like, I don't even want to I won't go too deep into this, but like thinking about how like because you was like how your morals don't change. Our morals change. Like it's like
no, I didn't say my morals don't change.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying no, they're just more ingrained, so they haven't changed as much as my values have changed.
Okay. I was gonna say they should change.
No,
like,
they change. No, I'm saying like my values change more often at the age I'm at, but my morals, a lot of the morals that I had were like ingrained, like culturally, is what I mean.
Okay. Yeah. It's like when we're little, our world is our parents. And so whatever our parents believe in or practice or tell us, teach us, is what we adopt. And sometimes some people are in a household where they might not believe or that might not be their perception of whatever their parent is saying, but they literally can't say it without that parent feeling like they're disrespecting them. And so then they learn the behavior to just not speak up about what they think or how they feel about certain things. And so because of that, that's when you start to have adults who aren't expressive in like their values. They don't even know their values.
They don't have connection to self. They lost that.
Exactly. Because it's like your connection when you're little, it's always going to be like your world's your parents. And then outside of that, once you become aware of you being an individual, then that's where that like autonomy starts to come in. So once the autonomy gets cut or it gets messed with, that's when you see that with like adults. So it's still, possible to heal from it. Like if you feel like you're like that, like if you feel like you struggle with being able to express yourself, or you feel like as a child, your parent or a caregiver or any adult in your life told you that your opinion didn't matter because you don't pay bills or because you're a child, you don't know nothing, just know that your feelings are validated and you're still a person. You still have like experiences outside of your parents. So it's okay to have different perceptions of life because you don't have the same eyeballs nor the same experiences as that parent or caregiver or adult or whoever who said that to you.
Yeah, I feel like we need to make it more open in general, and I talk about this a lot. Like, and that's why I kind of get away from like things like social media, and although that's a form of connecting, it's almost kind of like a give or take. Sometimes when you get too connected to social media, you kind of lose that connectivity with yourself or lose that connectivity with people around you who are in your face, you know. And it's nice to connect to other people, but I feel like we're losing that. I listened to a podcast not too long ago where they were talking about like social media one day is going to be how cigarettes were in the 90s. Like, spicy.
Spicy.
Yeah, like it's gonna get to the point where it's damaging. Like
it can't.
It's damaging now.
It's an addiction.
It's for sure an addiction, and I feel like unlike cigarettes, like it's so easy. Like cigarettes are already easy, but it's just like you can wake up and just literally, and we all do it, and it's just like it's become so normalized, just like cigarettes were. Like you can have them in the hospitals and. People, the fact that your baby just came out the womb and it's just like, there we go. And it's already hooked, you know, just like that. So I heard that just in case, you know. So what is life going to look like then when like, that's almost like distorted connection.
And see, to me, that's like how people in power have a way of like controlling what we see, and that's where our eyes are, and then we miss out on things that's going on in the world that our eyes actually should be on. So to think that they're comparing that to cigarettes and it's scary because then it's like it has my mind and, you know, generalized anxiety, deer in headlights. Like in my head I'm thinking, oh no, like what happens when like, you know, because right now we grew up with the social media coming into where it's at, and then we have Gen Z who are pretty much have been surrounded by it. So what is going to happen with these COVID babies?
Yeah. Oh, it's over. Like, that's not nice. I should say that, y'all. We have hope. Okay, we got hope.
Like, and you know, there's different things for different generations. Now we're getting a little bit off topic, but there's different things for different generations. Like you have, you know, the millennials who have gone through what they've gone through. We have Gen Z who've gone through what they've gone through. And now we're gonna have these COVID babies who go through what they go through. And each generation has their own thing that is an adversity, but it's also a superpower. So we're gonna see some type of superpower coming out of this generation. Like Gen Z, I'm gonna say, I feel like their superpower is their awareness around mental health.
Yeah, and like the internet helped them with that.
Yes.
They found people that were talking who look like them and they're giving more information. But it's becoming, like I said, it's becoming a problem. Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, so COVID babies, what is their superpower going to be?
Yeah.
And their downfall. And the important thing is to make sure we lean into that superpower and we acknowledge the downfall. Because if we don't acknowledge the downfall, then the downfall is going to overpower the superpower.
Yeah.
So. And
it's hard with technology because you use it for everything. Like when I was trying to do my dopamine detox, I was like, I need social media for this podcast. Like think like that. And it's like, I gotta delete this app and I gotta re-upload it. Girl, that takes 10 seconds. Like me making it seem like it was so much because we're used to having things at our fingers on time, on demand when we want them. It's scary because it's kind of like if these COVID babies do, you know, they do grow up, we don't even have enough information on what to really redirect them. We're not even following ourselves. We all wake up, use our phones for alarms, get on social media, scroll, go to the bathroom, sit on the toilet with the phone. And like you said, we're getting off topic, but like I said, it almost feels like a distorted connection. Like we were so used to like almost finding these connections that we didn't have at home, but we kind of have to remember that this ain't all real. Like most of it ain't real. I'm not gonna say all real. Most of it ain't real. Like you know, people are gonna give you the best on social media, and we have to remember, including us and including you. Like I'm sure everybody's gonna post the best. You don't want to just post BS, and I'm not saying to post BS. What I'm saying is like,
I mean, we should start posting BS. I feel like that would be our true authentic selves. Like,
but I don't feel like that's what social media is for. I feel like we have to make clear distinctions between this is real life and this is the phone. You don't have to show your everything. For like your automatic assumption shouldn't be this is her life based off a few pictures. We have to get away from that. And I don't feel like you have to show you waking up with crazy hair to do that. Because if you think about like the 1960s and stuff, they don't have pictures of them looking crazy because they had to sit still with a solid hairstyle sprayed up and, you know, for hours. So I feel like we should be able to do that with social media and not have people assume that this is who we are all the time.
Right.
Like you should understand what it's like to be a human. But I feel like we're losing that connection. Like it's distorted.
Yeah. In my head right now, my brain is trying to figure out
A solution.
I instantly go into solution mode. Like,
Yeah, I
okay,
feel you.
So what's the core problem? Like that's like my brain's
Yeah.
trying to dissect it to try to rebuild it, and I
Right.
don't have time for that right now. So I'm
Not
gonna
to
try
rebuild the meaning of life.
Right,
The next 20
exactly.
years. Yeah.
Exactly. Let me pull out because
Yeah.
then I will sit here and really try to solve that problem, and I don't have the time for that. So
Yeah. Something to think about, y'all. Something to think about.
Okay, so life is all about perception,
Yeah.
right? That's what we've been talking about. How everything that we see, even like down to religion, like literally, like people argue about religion and it's literally the same stories except in a different, you're using a different language. I always say that literally like how we speak English, some people speak Spanish, some people speak Portuguese. It's the same thing. We're saying the same thing except in a different language, and pieces of it is gonna add up to different like words.
Not even, it's the same story told from a different side of the globe. That's how I always realize it. Like some people were standing. If you stand on one side of a table, you're gonna see something one way. If you're gonna stand on the other side, but the story still happened the same way. They all saw it the same way. It's just, I mean, they all saw it. They all saw it happen. They just saw it happen different ways, like based off of where you were standing.
Yeah. And
So-
then when you think about like it's this game called like Telephone where
Yeah. It gets passed down and gets lost in translation.
It was literally oral like
Yeah.
at first.
Right.
So once again, a little off topic, but I feel like religion has a huge piece to do with all of our lives. Like
Yeah.
So when you have like the oral stories go and then they go down generation and then finally somebody writes it down and then they take what they wrote down and then they only take pieces of what they wrote down and then
Can you think of somebody who took your college notes and like based the whole like religion? That's what they did.
come on now.
Gave
like-
very much. I missed all of fourth period, so you. I missed 2 whole lessons.
So I'm gonna look at
Yeah.
your notes and I'm gonna see.
I'm gonna piece it back together and hope for the best.
Exactly. So that's why
Yeah.
it's like it's all one except perceptions from different angles. It's same thing. Like life. It's just only your life, your reality is what you see and what you believe based off your experiences, memories, values, morals. It's literally how you view it. And then after that, it's like people say like people's perception isn't reality, but I feel like your reality is your perception.
That's the only reality there is.
Exactly.
Other than that, the world's gonna keep moving. That was one thing that my mom always has taught me. Like, it don't matter what's going on in your life, it's gonna keep spinning. Sorry to tell you. Like,
because your reality, my reality is not Jay's reality.
Yeah.
You know, we might, like, if something was to happen to somebody that's mutual, of course, we'll both, like, grieve it in a way. But at the same time, the reality of the relationship from both ends is going to still be different.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
reality is nothing more than just a perception, a.k.a. life is nothing more than a perception.
life's what you make it. Hannah Montana.
And so I guess we'll end there. Unless did you have something to say about
No.
emotional life? All right. And yeah, I guess we'll end there. So make sure that you are following us on all social media platforms at NBFR Podcast on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You can find us on all of them. Pinterest is coming to you soon, too. Pinterest is coming to you soon. So
Yep.
be on the lookout for that one as well. And be tuned. Make sure you subscribe. Go ahead and like this video if you are watching it on YouTube. And leave us some comments. Let us know what you think. And also, can you think of a childhood film, maybe a childhood character that represents you in your life? And your thoughts on this episode, on this
Yeah.
topic.
Let us know.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.